This is a message for the collective from Spirit. The purpose of this, I believe, from what I am gathering, is to learn how to co-create with Spirit from love. And in order to do that, you have to remove all the blocks. So, I have learned as a therapist in the internal family systems model that if you don't listen to any of your parts, they will have a temper tantrum and overtake you and take you to a place you don't want to go. And so it's very similar with the shadow. It's shadow and parts can be the same thing, just different names. If you don't listen to your shadow, if you don't acknowledge and see your shadow, and you know, if you don't see it, you don't see it. But as it surfaces, as it comes up, and you can see it through other people too, if you don't acknowledge it, it's going to come up and take over in a way that's not healthy, in a way that's not good for you. So if you can acknowledge your shadow, then it can kind of settle down and find its rightful place within you and take its rightful power. And it won't be out of control. It will just find its rightful place in your persona. So we're looking at shadow, whatever shadows we're looking at today, from the Carolyn Myss Archetype cards. I think I still have the ones that I needed yesterday in my purse, and they were Monk and Warrior, or Monk, Nun, and Warrior. So let's just see. Those ones won't come out because I think I forgot to put them back. But let's see what does come up for us. What shadows, what's lying in our shadows that we are ready to see today and acknowledge and own, so that we can move closer to creating, co-creating with Spirit. Okay, Detective has come up again. Great powers of observation and intuition, a desire to seek out the truth. And the shadow is voyeurism or falsifying information. Now, why would you falsify information, or why would you disconnect from yourself? And your own intuition, that's what it is. We've disconnected from our intuition and yeah, that's what it is. We all have intuition, but we have learned to discount it. So we are tuning into our intuition and recognizing that we have intuition. And sometimes that intuition, that connection with ourselves, tells us things we don't want to know. It told me that I needed to get a divorce. I didn't want to know that. But once you know, you know. So, what is your intuition telling you? And are you acknowledging it? Are you listening to your intuition? It takes a lot of courage to listen to your intuition. So are there any other cards? I do have one other one that fell out. The Advocate, light attribute, inspires you to put compassion into action. The Shadow is embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. Sometimes our ego gets a little out of control and we get a little self-righteous. I see that happening right now in the world. the self-righteousness. It's a little bit out of control. Okay. And these are just telling us what's there. These ones don't really tell us what to do with it, which is what we'll get from the Light Seers Tarot. So I'm just gonna see if we have any more, because I have a feeling that we have one more. It is the guide one. These are the ones that keep coming out. Guide. They came out in a different order though, so that's kind of interesting. Guide represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. The shadow is financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. Places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. Okay. So listening to our intuition, putting our compassion into action, and seeing the divine in life, in yourself, and in all others. Okay, so we're gonna now get some more information from the Light Seers Tarot on how can we work with these archetypes. This is the Light Seers Tarot. As I always say, there's a lot of silence in my videos because that's when God or Spirit talks to you. When in that silence, in that stillness. And everything means something. I always say that too. Everything means something. So if you heard that hammering, what is pounding on you? Or pounding at you? What is it that your intuition is trying to tell you, or Spirit is trying to tell you? Okay, let's see. How can we best work with these archetypes? What are you working really hard at? Because often when we're working really hard at something, we're pushing against something. We don't usually have to work so hard. Work steadily and working at something. But when you're working really hard, sometimes we're pushing against. And when we push against, we create more resistance. So are you creating more resistance by working too hard? And what is it that you're looking to manifest? What matters to you and what makes you happy? And is there too much noise around you for you to be able to hear yourself? How can you clear that space? Okay. I got the Two of Swords, the Eight of Cups, that one was upside down, the Two of Wands, also upside down, the Three of Cups, ooh, the Hierophant, and the Nine of Swords upside down. Okay. So this is going to tell us a story, so let's see what we can decipher from this story. Two of Swords. So she's blindfolded and she's got some confliction there. She doesn't know. There's some confusion. Which way to go, which way to turn. Stalemate, a crossroads, making a difficult choice, opposing ideas or options, choosing the best route of action, memory, and thought. A difficult choice, confusion, the angst of the unknown, between a rock and a hard place, fear of commitment. When blinded by the unknown, I can trust myself to move toward the light. Okay, so it's about listening to your intuition. You do know, and you need to give it some more weight. So you do know which way you need to go, but your mind might be getting in the way. So the Eight of Cups is walking away from something. And that might be why you're not listening to your intuition, because you have to walk away from something and you're afraid. Eight of Cups. Letting go, releasing that which no longer serves you. A time to move stuck energy, walking away, leaving your old reality to pursue a new one. Abandonment, disappointment. You might be dealing with some abandonment and some disappointment, and that's why you need to walk away. Or you might have already done this and you're regretting your choice. You're feeling fears that block your momentum. Yeah, you're regretting it. You did walk away from something, or you're on the verge of walking away from something, and you're kind of second guessing yourself. I've been there. It's really hard to walk away, and guilt comes up a lot. The affirmation is, I walk away from negativity and I choose myself in a rebellious act of love. That's beautiful, because if you do that, then, I mean, that's like the highest calling there. Two of Wands. Let's do Two of Wands is next, and that was upside down. You have this stirring in you. And you know, you have this stirring in you that's telling you you need to move forward. But you're second guessing yourself. Three of Cups. Abundance, cooperation, community, closeness with siblings, joy, communication, celebration, soul contracts. Okay. So you have a soul contract that's pushing you forward. There's something out there that your spirit knows about. People that you need to meet, collaborate with. And that's actually under Advocate too. So it's something to do with that, is what inspires you to put compassion into action. That's going to push you forward and help you find your people. And the Hierophant is next. And this is, I think, what we're struggling with, is like what everyone else thinks about what we're doing, what everybody thinks about it. So we're struggling with also like what are people gonna think of what I'm doing, of this, like I'm not supposed to do this, the things that are put on us by society, that keep you from shining your own individual light into this world. Enlightenment. But you're moving towards your own, your light is getting stronger than that. And you're realizing how unique you actually are. So the affirmation is, okay, well, I'm going to read what it says. Spiritual leader or guide, which goes, it's right underneath guide. So you are a spiritual leader or guide. You are. And you're awakening to that. And yeah, you're awakening to that. So the affirmation is, I am my own guru, and the guidance I need is rooted in my faith, my belief, and my unique essence. You're starting to recognize and awaken to yourself. Okay, and the Nine of Swords is what you're wrestling with. So there's a little bit of back and forth here. This is you're awakening, but there's a little bit of push and pull. Of course. Worry, feelings of depression or anxiety. Oh, we have this, it's upside down. So paranoia, deeply anchored fears, inability to think clearly, inner turmoil, negative self-talk affecting self-esteem, an opportunity to actively begin the healing journey. Okay. So you are awakening to your unique role here. You are a guide and a teacher, but you have some fears about that. And that we're going to explore going forward. I see my fears as the illusions that they are. And you're moving towards healing. Some of the things that you thought were true, you might even be, like when this happened to me, I actually heard a voice that was really clear about what I was actually facing. It was, you thought if you did everything right, you would be loved. And then I was like, okay, yeah, that's true. And I'm not experiencing that. So then what? That was the illusion. And so once I was able to awaken to that illusion, I was able to move forward onto my healing journey. And in order to do that, I had to let go. I had to let go of my marriage. And see that it wasn't what I was trying to create. That wasn't what I was looking for. And I had to admit that to myself, and that was really hard. So what are you afraid to admit to yourself? I'm looking at the shadow aspects of the guide. Places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. So I'm thinking right now it could be either, but control is about fear. And if we're in fear, then we are not coming from a place of love, and we're not connecting to our spirit. So we can ask ourselves what we're afraid of. We can acknowledge our fears, and we can face them, and we can talk to God about them, or spirit. So when that happened to me, I was like, oh my God, if that's true, then what is real? If If everything that I thought was real is not real, then what is real? So I asked God that, and God told me, not in words, but in a knowing, your love is real. And that was just like, whoa. I just, like, tears came to my eyes, and I was like, God can see my love. That was such a cool thing, you know, to know that you're being seen, really seen by God or Spirit. And to trust that and move into that. So if I'm being seen, then, and God knows what I want, and God knows I'm ready for this, and it's okay for me to trust and walk forward. And so I did. I listened to my intuition, and my intuition came through as songs, which I just felt like, you know when something's really speaking to you because you can feel the energy of it. That's how I experience it. And people sometimes, and tarot card readings that I listen to online. People, I already said that. Other things, signs. Just knowings, like knowings coming in. The same way that when I asked God, that came through as a knowing. Just a lot of messages coming through. Some of the messages were because I was getting a divorce, and I didn't know what that meant. Like, where was I? How are we gonna? How is my partner gonna take this? How are we gonna resolve it? And I just took one step at a time based on what my spiritual guidance was. I got the message not to fight. And then I got the message I needed help, and I found a card. I was writing on it something else. I only picked it up because it was blank. On the other side was a mediator, and I had asked God for help with filing for divorce. And then I found that card with the mediator on it. So you are co-creating with God or Spirit. You just have to listen. And it takes a lot of courage and trust to do that. But I think it's really like, there's so much craziness going on in the world right now. It's almost like, what do you have to lose? Okay, so we got poised. This is the wisdom of the oracle. So poised is number 48, which would be 12, which would be a 3, which is expansion. If I'm doing my math right. Okay, being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, confidence. You can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need to. Your skills are sharp. You've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge. You sense a new phase of your life is about to begin, and you're right. You're right. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new things. Okay, whatever it is you're contemplating, if you're feeling this message, it's a yes. It's a yes. Let me see if there's anything else. Is there anything else that you want to know? Just send me that message telepathically, and it will go into me, into the cards, and we can get an answer. So what is it that you want to know? Yin. So that's the feminine receptive energy. Gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. So really, not to be too action oriented, but really to kind of take a step back and allow things to come into you, and then you know what to do. But don't be like too like at the edge of your seat and listening to your brain. This is more of a heart-centered energy. It's less action yang doing, okay, I think I know what to do. No, it's more like sitting back and allowing it to come into you. And then knowing, and then deciding and knowing. But allowing it to settle into you first. See if there's anything else. Is there anything else that you wanted to know? Okay, there's regeneration. Oh my gosh, I love it. That's like the phoenix rising. Hey. That's the phoenix rising energy. So it's like there is this old you, this old version of you that you thought you were, that everybody told you who you were, is dying away. But you're coming into this new version of you, which is something you had an inkling about, that it's just who you're meant to be. It's who you're meant to be. You're becoming who you were meant to be. You're going to get to express yourself in the world. And it's so fun. So it's a rebirth, second chances, new opportunities. Second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. But whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful, growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. So maybe you're like me and you thought, okay, if I let go of this marriage or whatever it is that you're letting go of, there's nothing else out there for me. Maybe you're like me and you're like, oh my God, I'm too old to do anything else at this point. Where does that leave me? Maybe those are the questions that you're asking yourself. Well, whatever you were trying to create is coming to you. The form that you thought it was coming in, it's not that form. It's coming in a different form. Everything is love and energy. And so you have been co-creating all along with Spirit. It just wasn't the form that you thought it would. It just didn't take the form that you thought it would. So I had been trying to create like a loving relationship. I was wanting to do retreats. I thought, I want to do couples retreats and give people this amazing experience of connectedness, connecting to their nature, connecting to nature and the outdoors, connecting to each other, like a feeling of connection, beauty, love, freedom. That's what I was trying to do. So I thought I was going to run retreats to do that. And I wanted my partner to come along with me and be a part of that experience. And we would model and show connection, and we would do it at the same time so we could be more connected. So that's what I was trying to create. And I thought it was through these retreats that I was going to do. And maybe still, I may still do retreats, but my partner didn't want to do that. My partner said, no, that's not what I want. And so I was like, well, you don't want love and connection and freedom and beauty, and you don't want to do this with me? And he told me that like a few times before I was actually ready to hear it. And then when I really heard it, I was like, I heard it, but then I was like, well, I don't know. This was my choice. I chose this. I have kids with this person. I have we have a family, like we have all this stuff together. Like, I guess this is just my fate. And then I started to see things in the world which were what I was looking for. Somebody who appreciated me for my spirit, and like somebody who could see me and appreciate me for my loving spirit, and for my voice, and for my connection to spirit, and for my passion. And I started to see this in the world, and I was like, and then I started to see my partner putting me down and not, and keeping me from feeling free, and keeping me from expressing my light. And it just got stronger and stronger and stronger. And then I was like, okay, maybe there is something else out there for me. And then I kept hearing more and more, like, the love that you're looking for is going to be returned to you. That love is out there for you. It didn't come in this person. It's going to come in another person. And then I was like, oh my God, okay, well now, okay, if that's true, I'm going to move forward with this divorce. And I was told not to fight. So that I would be taken care of. And so I found a mediator. My partner and I started to work together to figure out how we were going to divide everything. And I had to be strong. There were times that I had to be strong and know what I wanted, speak up. But he wanted the house. And so that left me in a place when I got a message to just let that happen. And I was okay with that. And I was just like, well, where am I going to live? What am I going to do? And God kept telling me that it would be provided for me, that I would know, and I was going to have an opportunity. And so I was looking, and I kept waiting and waiting. And meanwhile, I'm like wallowing in this horrible energy. And I'm like still living with my partner and still feeling abuse, still feeling like bad feelings. Like, and I'm not saying that my partner was abusing me. I'm kind of saying that. I don't think that they intended to do that, but there was a lot of putting me down, making me think that I couldn't do this, instilling fear in me. And I have to own that that was coming from me too, that I was afraid. I was really afraid. So I just kept trusting, but and times I would like just look for things and try to find things, and every time I did that, it didn't work. It didn't work when I used that yang energy of just going out there and doing it. It didn't work. It didn't work. I did have to sit back and be more receptive and just learn the lessons internally. What is God or spirit trying to show me or teach me? What do I need to unlearn? And there was a lot of that. And so I just kept trusting. And it was true. All of it was true. A house came to me. Money came to me. A new partner that was everything that I asked for and more. A partner that was able to help me fix the house that I found. A partner who wanted to spend time with me like I wanted to spend time together, and wanted to connect with me and do things together, and met me spiritually, like, and the heart and the passion that I have, like, just everything that I was looking for and even more, and led me on this new path, which was scary because it was so different. The form was so different, but the essence of what I was trying to create was love, connection, freedom. Love is just there, but it's allowing and removing the blocks to love that we need to do. Connection happens when we let go of that fear, and we can just be and happy and express ourselves. And freedom, the freedom to express ourselves and to be who we are. That's what you're getting from all of this. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, acknowledge that fear, care for that fear, validate that fear. Of course you're afraid. Look at all this craziness in the world. And love And God and Spirit is more powerful than that. And you are that. You are God and Spirit. And so you are more powerful than that. So we're just removing these obstacles that are essentially fear. We're removing the obstacles to love. And stepping into trust and faith and hope. And it's going to meet us. I can tell you that because it's happened for me. So that's all that I have for today. So go in faith and love.